What's going on, Tori? Maybe watching this, and welcome back to another Casual Hoops video. Number 3, we're coming at you live. We got a few things we're going to talk about today, but first, R.I.P. Billy Russell. You're a goddamn legend, Bill. You know, he's been around, he's like 88 years old. He's one of the greatest players of all time. And that's going to be one of my talking points today. Bill Russell is, in fact, top 5 NBA player of all time. As well as talking about Billy Russell and a little bit about his fucking career. Jesus Christ. We're going to do a little bit of a LeBron talk. What if the Lakers suck this year? Does he go to Cleveland? And we're going to get into both of those things. But first, before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you hit that like button. I'm actually really close to getting monetized. My channel's been going crazy recently. I've been doing shorts every single day. We've been rolling. So if you want to help me, help you, help me help you. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. I answer all the comments. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Bang, R.I.P. Billy Russell. Now, what I was saying in the what I would call that the pre-game video is that Bill Russell is in fact a top 5 player of all time. I think you would need to hear the rest of my list. Number 1, we have Michael Jordan. Number 2, LeBron James. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 4, Magic Johnson. And number 5, Bill Russell. Everyone's argument for Bill Russell not being a top 10 player is he played with a bunch of white dudes. There was 6 teams in the league, all this stuff. But you got to take into consideration time period. He has no control over that. So just because he was playing in a time period with 6 teams and he dominated it, he can't be on the list. It's not really his fault. It's the time period when he was playing. So during that time period, let me say time period again, he dominated it. 5 league MVPs. 5. He won MVP 5 times. He won 11 championships in 13 years. 11 championships in 13 years. Who's ever done that? No one. He's the greatest winner in all of sports. Not in basketball. He's the greatest winner in all of sports. Not to mention, one of his championships was won while he was a coach player. He was out there getting rebounds, dishing and diming, doing this thing, and he's calling timeouts. He's making the substitutions. Billy Russell was more than just a player. He was a player coach. A player coach that called the shots. How could you tell me you get an offensive board, you fucking throw that bitch down, and then you're calling a timeout? Who's doing that? No one. Billy Russell was. Billy boy. R.I.P. Billy Russell. Top 5. Put it on the gravestone. Do you understand me? Now you may say, who do I have after Bill? So if Bill's 5, I have Tim Duncan 6, Larry Bird 7, Hakeem Olajuwon 8, Wilt Chamberlain 9, and Shaq 10. Yeah, Kobe's not there. Hate to break it to you. And everyone has their own definition of who the greatest 10 players are. A lot of people have like Kobe in their top 3. They have Shaq top 5. It really goes down to what your definition of it is. And mine is legacy, time period, your accomplishments. So Bill Russell having 11 championships in 13 years and 5 MVPs. Greatest winner ever, like I said. It's hard for me not to put him on my list. Bill Russell, I mean, he's been around the NBA forever. They have an award. If you have an award named after you, like, you're kind of the real deal, you know? And it's not just any award. It's the NBA Bill Russell MVP award, I think. Or is it the final? It's one of the MVPs, I could tell you that. It might be finals MVP. I'm not too sure. But it would be kind of interesting if it was the finals MVP because Bill Russell never won a finals MVP. You know, I will say that's a little bit of a stain when you have 11 championships, but still he won 11 championships. he's been attached to the sport forever. He's always been like a face for the league, even when he's been retired. He's always been there. You see him at all the award shows. You see him handing out, I think, like I said, I think it's the MVP award. He's always a face that people remember. He's always been a good guy. He's done it all for the league. He's been around forever. And honestly, it's Bill Russell. I mean, R.I.P. to a legend. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's kind of this can be happy. Listen, he's almost 90 years old, and he left a great mark on the NBA world. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So I think that's enough for Bill Russell. If you want, and then I'll mention this. If you know me, Jesus, I can't fucking talk. Today I'm going to be doing a lot of Bill Russell related TikTok. So if you don't follow my TikTok, it is down in the description. So today, after I finish this video, I'm going to do a couple Bill Russell related TikToks. If you want to go check those out, you'll probably see those over the next few days. And that's that for Bill Russell. Let's move on to LeBron James. Now, last week I talked about the Lakers' big three, LeBron, AD, and Westbrook, having a secret conversation. I gave you my opinion on what I felt was talked about in that phone meeting. And to really just wrap it up, I feel like it was a discussion talking about get rid of personal agendas. They heard all the noise. I think it was them focusing on being a team, blocking out the hate, using the hate from last year as motivation, and going for a championship. I really think that was like the grand idea of that conversation that they had. So I want to talk about, well, that's pretty much that. So recently, we've been hearing, or I've been reading, that this is LeBron's last year as a Laker, I believe. Obviously, he can resign. He's eligible for a 2-year extension. So the question is, does LeBron re-sign? And I think the better question is does LeBron re-sign during the season? Or does he wait until free agency where he could see where the team's at, where he could see what teams want him, where could he go? And I'm going to give you my idea. Focus, please. Hello, please focus. There we go. I'm going to give you my idea of what he may do. So, from LeBron James' point of view, I think it would be absolutely silly for him to sign this extension before the season's over. What if your team has another year like last year? You're absolute trash. The Lakers aren't building much because there's nothing to get. They really haven't done anything to their team. They really think THT, Talon Horton-Tucker, is like the next big thing. But he actually sucks. So, I don't know what this team really has besides their big three. And I would actually call it a big 2.5 because Anthony Davis or Westbrook. Anthony Davis is either hurt or Westbrook can't either find the fucking rim. So, I think LeBron James should, in fact, wait until he sees what this team does. And potentially, now here's where the talks get interesting. Where would he go if the Lakers miss the playoffs? He wants out. Where would he go? Well, how wonderful, how interesting, how anticlimactic would it be if he just goes back to Cleveland for the third time? I mean, he's done it once. Why not do it again? Cleveland has the max spot. They're an up-and-coming team, great young talent. They got an all-star guard. Why not a third reunion with Cleveland? Who says no? That's honestly where I could see LeBron James potentially going. I don't know if I would potentially see him going there. It makes for a cool storyline, at least. But, I mean, in reality, do I really see LeBron leaving LA? No. He always says he wants to play with his son. I don't know how his son would find his way onto the Lakers. I feel like LeBron James will end up retiring a Laker. They just need a good season this year. So, but I still believe and I still think that it's smart for LeBron to wait the whole entire season before signing the extension halfway through the year. I mean, unless obviously the team's rolling and they pick up a good player, but the Lakers need help. I mean, LeBron, AD, and Westbrook, you need something else. Like, you had Malik Monk, he's gone. You think THT's the next big thing, he's not. I mean, who else do you have? Carmelo? Trevor Ariza, is he even still there? I don't know. I don't know what this team has. I don't know what they've done in the offseason. I feel like all they've done is lost players. So, we'll see what the Lakers do in the up-and-coming weeks. There's still a lot of time for NBA free agency. There's still a lot of time for them to make moves. And even when the season starts, if they're running it with this team right now, I'm sure they'll make trades during the season to scoop up some players. I think they're just going to see where they're at. But, yeah, I think LeBron James should wait until the end of the season to potentially re-sign with the Lakers. I hope he doesn't. Dude's like fucking 38 years old. I'd love to see him get out of the league. He's been shitting on my favorite teams for years, but that's pretty much besides the point. I only planned on talking about those two things. Is there anything else I'd be able to cover? I wish I had like someone right here who could be like, yeah, why don't you talk about this? Or I had like a live feed. Over the last few weeks, I've talked about like the Kevin Durant potentially getting traded, and I've always said no, he's not going anywhere. The Donovan Mitchell news has slowed down a little bit. We saw the one trade for the Knicks that, as a Knicks fan, I actually didn't mind. It was like Quentin Grimes, Fournier, one other player, and 4 first-round picks, Cam Reddish, and then 4 first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell. I didn't hate that, but I still am a fan of building a long-term team, and I actually like Quentin Grimes. I think he has a high ceiling. So I'm not too sure about the whole Donovan Mitchell thing, but to be honest, there really hasn't been crazy news around the league. We saw Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and John Collins, the new Atlanta Hawks Big Three, playing the Drew League, and obviously they dominated because they're 2 All-Stars and then 1 really good player. That's going to be an interesting team. I am a Knicks fan, so seeing the Hawks get DeJounte when we were in talks with them, that stung a lot of bit. Not a little bit, a lot of bit. But it's still going to be a pretty cool team. As much as I hate Trae Young, I do respect his confidence. And that's really hard to say because bro, when we versed him in the playoffs a few years ago, that shit was so tough. Like, seeing him destroy us. But, that team's going to be pretty fun to watch. I mean, I think the Hawks are potentially like they could be a top 5 team in the East. They're not going to be top 3, but they could surprise some people this year. I mean, people forget 2 years ago that team was fucking in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, they beat the 76ers. So getting that defensive stud in the guard position, they're going to be a scary team. Maybe I'll do that in the next week. In next week's video, I'll give you who I think. Like, I'll do my playoff bracket. If the teams were locked in, I would say, like, where do I think these teams will finish, how the playoff schedule will end up looking out. Maybe I could do that in next week's video. But I think pretty much covered a lot of things that I'd like to today. So once again, R.I.P. Bill Russell. You're a legend. You're also top 5 all time. I will die by that statement. What you did was unbelievable. I appreciate what you did. I respect you as a man, as a player. And make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button. And that's pretty much it, as always. And, as always, I should say, is stay casual.